All right, that was Mahalia. Tomi Lauren, the blonde bimbo from Fox News. I actually sometimes occasionally see her putting air in her head, but she had the temerity to compare social distancing to willful slavery. Willful slavery. Those words cancel each other out. Slaves didn't have wills. They weren't allowed one. Matter of fact, they didn't even have souls. They were little more than animals. So if you're going to make a comparison, I'm going to inform you of some things. They didn't have wills. That is why they were whipped and chained. You know, it's not an S&M thing. It's not a fetish thing. They were chained and beaten to strip them of their wills. Also, I know that a blonde white woman might be an expert on slavery because you are so oppressed, but also you can't compare it to slavery unless while you were social distancing, somebody raped you. And then while you were social distancing again, somebody sold your children from under you. And then while you were social distancing again, you had the child of the rapist and he was treated better than you. And then the man who you loved, he was sold. And then you were told you were an animal. And then you were told you didn't have a soul and that God didn't exist and that you weren't a real person and that you couldn't read. You're getting my point, right? Right? It is apparent to me that one of the only places that racism does not exist are police departments and Fox News. And it's also apparent that it rings hollow when a blonde bimbo compares her struggles to the struggle of millions of people who are dead because of people who looked exactly like you and thought exactly like you. You having to stay home is nothing like being taken from your home. Social distancing ain't just not being able to stand 6 feet away from each other. It's crossing an ocean away from everything you've ever known. Now, I know it's rough that you can't get your nails done, or you can't get your hair done, or you can't go to a bar, or you can't go to a restaurant, but imagine that from not even knowing your name, not even knowing where you're from, being beaten into submission, and then having statues of that torture everywhere you go. Slavery didn't have Postmates. Slavery didn't have places to relieve yourself. Slavery didn't have things you could do. Slavery had nothing. No will, no humanity, nothing. So the very next time you put a slave in your mouth, act like one. That's a little note from the GED section. We got a jazz report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show.